Hi everyone, this is Dan Levy, Acting Product Manager for Unite UX. I'm also joined by Antonia here today. Antonia, say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. What we're going to do today is take a little bit of time to show you where we're at with Unite UX. We appreciate everyone signing up for the preview program. We've had quite a large response, and we're working our way through this. But I wanted to provide everyone a state of the state. So Antonia and I have been here with the engineering team this week in Sofia and laying out the roadmap and what lies ahead for Unite UX. Right now, we're looking for a launch sometime in the fall. And as someone that signed up for the preview program, we felt it was important to kind of provide you with some sort of status update as to what the product's looking like and what this is all about. And if you see this video and you have feedback for us, just reply to the email, and would be very interested to hearing your feedback based on what you see. So what we have designed is a series of sketch libraries and plugins that allows your UX design team to leverage Kendo UI components as well as their own custom components in Sketch, so they can design using exactly what these components look like. And they can, of course, adjust theme and typography and things like that. But for this demo, we're going to keep it very basic. So we're going to build out a quick sample application in Sketch. So to start, we'll add in a logo up at the top. And we'll browse for a logo image, and I'll use our Progress logo for that. And next, we're going to add some navigation on the left-hand side of our application. And to do that, we'll go down to our Kendo UI libraries, into our layout components, and choose the navigation sidebar. And I'll use the expanded all option here. And then on the right-hand side, we're going to add two more components. We'll start with a data grid, adding a Kendo UI grid with inline editing. And we'll have that reside towards the bottom of the page. And lastly, we'll add in a chart. So we'll come over to charts, and we'll choose a smooth chart with no legend. And we'll put that into our page and align it with that top menu. And let me just fix the logo a little bit. There we go. Okay. So from here, because we're working with Bootstrap 4, we need the designer to specify horizontal and verticals, essentially your rows and columns. And to do that, you can use the Unite UX plugin. So from the plugin menu, open Unite UX, and this is a Sketch plugin. And from here, you can choose between horizontal, which are your rows, and vertical, which are your columns, and content areas. So the content area lets you separate out the master template from the main content of that particular page. So to get started, we'll choose the grid, and we're going to put that into a horizontal. And you can see over here on the left-hand side, it just was a grouping technique that we used in Sketch to group that in horizontal, which will then tell Unite UX how we prefer the layout to be. So we'll do the same for our chart, and then we'll take the chart and the grid and group those into a column. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to specify a column for the navigation bar. And then we're going to take those two columns and group them into a row. And then lastly, we'll group our logo into a row across the top. So now we have two master, if you will, horizontal or rows. The last thing we need to do before we export this to our MetaBridge format is to select the area that we want to define as our content area. So to do that, we choose this middle area, which will be the content, and the navigation and logo will be part of our master template. So we'll choose content there. Now that that has been done, we simply save our file, and we use our plugin to export to Unite UX Studio. So we'll choose the only screen that we've designed in this particular Sketch file, and we'll export that to our desktop. I put that in a demo1 folder on our desktop, and on the desktop here, you can see that folder here. So you can see the MetaBridge file that was created and the artifacts, meta, and templates subdirectories there. So now we can open up Unite UX Studio, and we can import that MetaBridge file. So we'll choose our demo1 folder, and you'll see demo1.uniteux, and we'll open that up. This instantly created an Angular application. Down the road, as we add additional output frameworks, you'll have the choice of what output framework you'd like to choose, but for now, it's Angular. So we'll open that up. Oh, I'm just getting a message that our dev server stopped. Okay. Just give me one moment. Hey, this is an alpha, folks, so these are some of the things that happen. So let me just relaunch UniteUX Studio and open our file. So here we are, and you'll see the file is broken into two modules right now. We have the application module, so that is the top navigation and left navigation that we defined, and then our content placeholder is actually housed here under page 1 within UniteUX, so you can see that. And you can make some quick edits. So for example, if you wanted the grid to only have, say, 10 rows instead of 10 rows per page, you can come in and do that. If you wanted to remove certain columns, like I don't want the GUID or the GUID to be included in that grid, so I'm going to remove that. I'll also remove gender, and I'll remove ID. So I'll just have first name, last name, and email, and that'll kind of clean up that a little bit. And then I can edit the data sources as I was mentioning, and I can reduce the page size to say, let's just keep it small. We'll keep it to like 8 results per page versus 20. And with that, we can just simply generate our app. So the app takes a little bit to generate the first time. After that, subsequent generations are much, much quicker. And there's a whole slew of options that you can adjust within UniteUX Studio. Right now, we're trying to see if UniteUX Studio is a tool that designers want to use or a tool that front-end developers want to use. Some of the early feedback we've had is that it could be used with either role. So, I'm curious your feedback on that after seeing this video, and down the road as you get your hands on the preview. So after this generates, the only thing we'll need to do is start up a local web server, and then you're probably going to be wondering, what are we doing for data? Well, right now, by default, we're hooking in some local data, so it's essentially it's JSON data. You can go in and edit that data easily, but it allows you to actually see your application, see your UI with some relatively real data. In addition, I just want to caution you that we're not anywhere near pixel perfect right now. Again, we're in alpha. Bringing over that pixel perfection piece is obviously quite a challenge for our engineering team, but it's being worked on. So you'll see that when we came over from Sketch over to UniteUX Studio, that it's not quite pixel perfect yet, but again, we're working on that. So we're just starting up the web server here. Just take another moment or so, and it will launch the application in the browser. So it starts up the local dev server, and it launches the application that we just built. Here we have our navigation. Now, we didn't really build the navigation out very much, so it's very simple. Over here, we have a working grid. So you can see, let me maximize this window. You can see here I've got the edit here. I could update these, cancel as I go from page to page. You can see that it is binded over to the chart, which is quite nice. And it's essentially a fully working application. And now you're probably wondering, well, what's the generated code look like? Well, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but for the developers that are here, I'll give you a little bit of a preview as to what you're looking at for code generation. So hang on, let me just maximize this screen. Okay, let's see. I think I want to show you the HTML. So I think this should probably give you a good idea of just how clean that code that we're generating is. And of course, we're working ways in to extend this. There's some areas that you're not going to be able to extend directly because the generation will override it, but there are areas that we'll make available for you to extend the code. And as I mentioned earlier with the Kendo UI components, a lot of the feedback that we've heard early on is that customers are using both Kendo UI and other components, and they want to essentially create their design framework as they need for their organization. So we're building this in a very flexible way that allows you to add your own custom components in as well, and we'll have detailed documentation for that. So that's a very quick sneak peek. We wanted to update you. It's for some of you, you signed up maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago. You probably haven't heard anything from us, so we wanted to give you a little sneak peek of the state with Unite UX. So thank you very much for signing up for the preview program, and we will be in touch. Our goal right now is that we do open it up to the people that have signed up for this for the preview, but we're probably not looking till sometime in August, just to kind of set expectations. That's simply the reality. But in the meantime, we'll do our best to communicate with you as we make progress. And if you have any feedback for us, please reply to our communications, and we're very curious what you think of what you saw here today. So thank you very much, and we'll looking forward to hearing your feedback.